I am Dracula. I bid you welcome.
Oh, it's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Thou shalt rise again.
Power to make multitudes run squealing in terror at the touch of my little invisible finger.
Do you believe in werewolves? To a new world of gods and monsters.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Ken and I's countdown of the Universal horror films. Ken, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
Good. So we're back at another one that does not really involve a monster, even though, I'm not going to lie, some of the stuff this guy did in this movie made him a monster in my eyes.
I would agree.
The Invisible Man's Revenge. And so far, I think out of the Invisible Man movies, we've only hit, there was just the second one, Returns, that we said we weren't really a fan of, but the rest, we've all been pretty positive and actually enjoyed a lot more than some of the other series of films.
And I'm going to be perfectly honest, I enjoyed this one a lot, and it made me want to maybe revisit Invisible Man Returns in the future, not anytime soon, but give it another chance, expecting something different. If I go in expecting something more along these lines than the original The Invisible Man, I might not be as disappointed. Mm-hmm. But it's just, what breaks my heart about that, though, is I really enjoy this movie, and the actor playing the Invisible Man is John Hall, playing Robert Griffin. I don't know if he's related to Jack Griffin or any of the other Griffins, but I don't quote unquote like his character because he does some scummy things, but he's entertaining, and it breaks my heart because I love Vincent Price, but I still feel like his movie is the weakest installment in the series.
Unfortunately. We haven't seen him in any of these movies in a while, have we?
No, I think when I look at our list here, because I've got the box set right here, I don't think he appears in any other Universal monster movies.
That's weird. You almost wonder what happened there.
Because he's such an icon of horror, but I guess he was just with other studios.
Yeah. But hey, I mean, Universal had their own stock people that they use, and was it starting here we saw John Carradine going forward?
Yes. I mentioned to Chad that these next three movies, because pull back the curtain a little bit, right now we're talking about The Invisible Man's Revenge, next time The Mummy's Ghost, and the one after that will be House of Frankenstein. And I messaged Chad, I was like, hey, has it dawned on you that John Carradine is in every one of these movies?
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even really recognize him at first as Drury.
Yeah, Dr. Drury. The only reason,
out of all the scientists we've seen, I think Drury is one of my favorites.
Yeah, I like him a lot because he's not mad and questing power. Drury I liked because he just sort of seems like he's just having fun doing experiments. He's like, I'm going to make my dog invisible. I'm going to make my parrot invisible. I'm not on a quest for power. I'm just having fun.
Right. He was just so laid back. He just lets his dog in and he's leading him around. And he's like, my dog will always protect me. Always, no matter what. It's like, oh, yes. Back to bite him in the ass. It came back to bite Griffin in the ass in the end.
Exactly. Literally and figuratively.
I still question. I'm like, that killed him? That dog murdered him? Really?
Right. Well, apparently, did you know, apparently dogs kill more people a year than sharks do?
I believe it.
Yeah. I saw a whole list of most deadly animals, and cows and horses and dogs are more deadly than sharks are.
It's just more fun for them to report shark attacks.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, yeah, I feel like this one just did what The Invisible Man Returns was going for, but I just enjoyed this one better.
Yeah.
I think we might be the minority on that, because I think most people prefer Returns. I could be wrong, but...
Wow. But that's unfortunate, because, yeah, I agree. This was way better because the main character was also... The main character had complexity. I didn't know whether to feel bad for him, but as soon as he killed Drury, I hated him. I was like, all right, now you're a piece of shit.
There was that, and also the way he demanded that his old crime partner or whoever it was demand that he give his daughter off to him.
Yeah, I was like, and we
That's
didn't see how long was Julie, played by Evelyn Ankers? How many?
Evelyn Ankers again.
She's
Well,
like all of them.
it's so crazy because apparently, yeah, back in the day, actors were signed to studios. So, like Boris Karloff, Bela Lugosi, Lon Chaney Jr., they were signed with Universal. They could only appear in Universal Pictures. That's how it was back in the day. So I guess that's that explanation, how they just recycle these actors. But
It was funny because it was like the whole movie, he's like demanding her. And he's like,
I
where's
know.
Julie? And then we don't even see her until like the last third. And she's only in like 3 scenes. I'm like, who's this woman he wants? I don't know anything about her.
Yeah, no.
Were they friends? Were they, because she didn't even, like, when he showed up and sat down to eat with them, and they're like, oh, this is Mr. X or whatever the false name they gave him.
Yeah, I think it was Field. Martin Field was the fake name they gave him. Yeah.
She didn't even act like she knew him. Like,
yeah.
So he demands the
weird possessiveness he had there.
Him.
Sorry?
He demands this woman who doesn't even know him.
Yeah, weird possessiveness. I didn't care for it. No. But as scummy as he was, I had a lot of fun with just the antics he got into as an Invisible Man. And that brings me into the character I really want to talk about. Let me make sure I just dropped my IMDb, but he's his Cockney British sidekick. Do you have the person pulled up?
Was it Was it Travers?
Oh, Leon Errol as Herbert Higgins. Pretty sure that's him.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah, I was looking too far down my list when I was looking for him. Yeah, he's right up at the top.
They get into a lot of antics, like Herbert is at a bar and he's like got a lot of like debts. He's got his tab he can't pay and all that. So he makes a bet that he'll get more bullseyes playing darts than this other guy. And the Invisible Man helps, and pretty much when he pretends to throw it, he just grabs it and walks it over. Great classic comedy there.
I love stuff like that because it's in reality they only did that basically to like show off special effects, but it like
exactly
so much fun to it. I will say I will give one big thing. I'll give this movie also. The effects in this were pretty good.
Oh yeah, I loved. We talked about it in The Invisible Agent, him rubbing the cream on his face. Here, I really liked when he throws flour on his face.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's almost more impressive. Because the cream at least like will show an even layer, but like throwing flour on your face, like it's all powdery and you can sort of see through it. A great effect.
Yep. I think like that one scene where he like wasn't there that one scene where he like there was one scene where it's like just his face was shown or something, and he was like talking to people, and it was the scene where the dude's wife showed up and he like threw it out of his face and she like had a stroke or something.
Yeah. Also, one thing I want to give this movie is I feel like a lot of these classic monster titles, like I'm just looking at some of them, like Son of Dracula, or the one we're talking about next, The Mummy's Ghost. There's no ghost. In this one, the Invisible Man is seeking revenge on people. It's like it's living up to the title. It's not like the revenge of Michael Myers. It's like, who's Michael Myers getting revenge on? In this one, he's actually pursuing revenge.
I always love that about Halloween 5.
Yeah.
Revenge for what?
Right. Who's he getting revenge on?
And here, but it does make you question, like, was he justified or was he not? Because I'm still on two minds about it. Like, they legitimately felt like the Sir Jasper, Lady Irene. I did partially feel, and it was like I get what she was saying. Like, we got to keep the note, we got to come up with the money, but look how he's acting right now. We can't do this while he's being irrational.
Yep.
But it almost feels like then it's like they said that, and it's like, yes, good, I agree. He's acting like a maniac. Calm him down. But then they like try to drive him out of like where they live, and I'm like, why didn't you just say this earlier then? After you knocked him out, it's not like he was listening to you. So you planned to do the right thing. Then you decided not to do the right thing. So it's like, was he right or was he wrong? I don't know. I'm not sure if it was just a bad writing or what.
I lean on the side of him being in the wrong because, I mean, first of all, he's quote unquote the bad guy. He murders a man. He's got that weird possessiveness with the girl. So a lot of bad stuff there. But the scene is actually very early on for me that shows how erratic he is. It's when he like goes into that tailor shop and like is getting his suit fitted, and the tailor is just like, "Do you wish to leave your name, sir?" or something like that. He's just like, "No, no one's following me." He like grabs the guy. He's like yelling at him. He's just like, "Who's following me?" The guy's very erratic.
Mm-hmm. I'm honestly shocked that they didn't just throw that agreement they had written down in the fire. I thought that's what she was gonna do. Like they're standing right next to the fire. I'm like, she's gonna toss it in, and then she didn't.
Yeah.
Like, just throw it in the fire.
Yeah, you're talking about the scene.
You can get rid of him, but then I was like, all right, they do want to do the right thing, but then they never wanted to do the right thing. That's why I was like, I don't get this.
You're talking about the scene where he like forces the guy's hand to write something out?
No, early,
no?
very beginning when they gave him the booze and he like passed out, and they were talking about it. She had the agreement letter, and she was like, "We need to hold on to this until we can get everything sorted out." I'm like,
right,
throw it in the fire, get rid of it.
So at least they've got some sort of integrity, whether it's for like a criminal agreement or whatever. They've at least got some sort of integrity, which again adds to, I would say he's probably in the wrong.
Right, especially since he did murder people at the mental hospital that he broke out of.
Yeah. Another great point. Another thing I like about this one is he does a good job of like using his power of invisibility to sort of do some spooky stuff and try to, intimidate people. Like when he's in the guy's room and when he gets the guy into the wine cellar, he's sort of like, "You'll never find me. I could be over there or over here." Good stuff there.
Stuff like that is, I'm like, all you have to do is hear their voice.
Yeah, right? It's true. Also, I wish, and I'm sure at the time they couldn't have done effects like this, but you remember Dr. Drury takes his dog in from the outside. It was raining outside. The dog should walk out of the rain, and you should see, like, drops of rain all over.
Oh, that would have been cool if they'd been able to.
But I'm sure the flower on the face was pushing the effects enough already.
Mm-hmm. That's a good. I didn't even think of that. Good eye. Is that actually?
Yeah.
Oh, imagine if they pulled that off.
And you would imagine like maybe in the wine cellar he would like crash a bottle over him and you would see like the wine dripping over him. But it was what, 1994. So
yeah, they weren't. They didn't have the. Actually, it's funny. I'm shocked they could still do some of the stuff they did, because it's like the stuff with the powder. As weird as it sounds, I still don't know how they did it.
And you were saying before we started recording that part of you wishes, rather than try to remake the true classics, Dracula, Frankenstein, and the Wolfman, take something like this that's not as well known and like modernize it.
Yeah, either do something original like what The Invisible Man from 2020 was, or when you're looking for ideas, look at some of these lesser known sequels that are so far down the list and just go with those. You don't always, you see it all the time, like when all the slashers that get remade, they don't remake the sequels. Well, they remake the originals for the most part. Like obviously Friday the 13th did like 4 movies or something, which was awful. But it's like Halloween, Texas Chainsaw, Nightmare on Elm Street. They all just remade the original, where it's like, remake one of the sequels instead. I like the Texas Chainsaw remake, but it was like the Nightmare remake. It's like, if I were them, I would have just been like, we're just going to start like with Dream Warriors. We're just going to start there so we can go all out with inventiveness and ideas. And then it's stuff like this. It's like, you could remake something like this and go deeper with it.
Remind me on this topic when we start recording the next one, The Mummy's Ghost. There's something I want to mention about that, but remind me if I don't remember it.
All right. Let's see. I think I thought it was so. I did think it was kind of anticlimactic how the Invisible Man died in this one. Like we talked about earlier, it's mauled by a dog. Like,
Yeah.
no.
Oh,
Okay.
but let me say this. I
was happy
Chad,
though. I was glad the dog killed him because I'm like, good, you killed his owner. Screw you,
Yeah.
he deserved to die.
and Chad, I'm sorry, I'm that guy. When he was ready to kill a dog, I'm that guy. Like, how dare you kill that animal? Because I love dogs.
Lit the house on fire.
He lit the house on fire. Was going to leave a dog to burn to death.
When we hit that point, I was like, this guy's an asshole at this point. Screw him. Hope he dies. And I haven't felt that way about any of the other Invisible Men. Just this one. This is the only one who's a true monster in my eyes.
Which I will say this, and I think I've talked about this aspect before. He's fun to watch when he's doing like crazy antics, but at the end of the day, he's the character you love to hate.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a character that you can that can be done really well.
And I think he did. He did a great job pulling off a very despicable character.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You know what? It's hard to play a character that's so despised sometimes. Like, like there's characters you see that are like despised where it's like, you know, oh yeah, they're just an asshole. Then you get like special ones almost like this, where it's like, I think probably the most famous, at least to me, character that it's like so easy to hate is Umbridge from Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. She's like the queen of characters to hate. But it's like, this guy's right up there. Like we said, when he killed Drury, I hated him. And then as soon as he lit the house on fire, I was like, I want this guy to die. I was like, I hate this character now. He's selfish. He's evil. He wants a woman who's perfectly happy with her own successful boyfriend. And it's like, is it the serum driving him mad, or is he just a monster?
Right. And, you know, you can always fall back on that, but they didn't make it clear that that's what was doing it. Now, get back to how he died. You said died anticlimactically. Chad, why don't you go ahead and...
Mauled by a dog.
Mauled by a dog.
I mean, it was poetic justice. Drury told him earlier, my dog will defend me to the bitter end. My dog loves me.
Which is a great callback. Callback. And
like we said, I love Drury though, and I'm like, please don't tell me he's actually dead. And then when they like got him out of the house, they're like, he's dead. I'm like, no, I wish he'd lived.
Yeah, which I do also have to point this out. I was telling Chad before this that apparently dogs do kill more people a year than like a lot of other animals, like sharks and snakes. So I guess it's not out of the realm of possibility for a dog to maul a man to death.
Especially, Drury also said the dog was basically a mutt, so he could have had wolf in him.
It could have. Also, I'm sorry, you just mentioned, and I watched the movie 2 nights ago. Maybe I forgot, but I could have sworn when he started doing the blood transfusion, which is something I also want to talk about. At the end, I thought they took Drury. No, Drury did die, and it was the other guy who was about to get killed by the blood transfusion but lived.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Yep. Now I'm remembering.
Yeah, and that blood transfusion. It's a pretty easy.
That's something I want.
Transfer blood.
Oh yeah, back when they were. Let's not talk about. Are you A positive? Take some B negative. You'll be fine.
Right. I have no medical training, but I was like, it's that easy. You just knock it out, jam something in their arm, and go up and down with a needle. That's it.
Yeah, as absurd as it is, and yeah, you're not asking about blood types or anything.
Correct.
But let's go ahead and I want to ask you about that. What did you think of that as a general idea, as using blood transfusion as a way to temporarily cure yourself from invisibility?
I thought it was. I mean, it was inventive, but it still doesn't make sense. Because if you're draining all the blood from one person and putting it into you, where's yours go?
Right. Are you just pumping it back into him?
You usually get a blood transfusion because you need blood.
Right, exactly.
It was just, I don't know. I still think the most inventive of all of the invisible movies was still the machine in The Invisible Woman.
Oh yeah.
Which I still go back, and it's like the more I think about it, it's like easily still my second favorite of all the Invisible movies. Right after.
Oh yeah. lot of fun. Really love that one. Um,
I mean, it was
let's
okay.
see.
It was okay, but it was like a blood trans. What? Like I can get it.
Right.
If, like you need blood, like another human's blood in you, and it like does something to your blood. It like flushes out the invisible serum, but like all of somebody's blood,
Right.
like, probably you'll
I mean,
probably
I've given my I've given my blood to the Red Cross before. It doesn't take all my blood.
die. More than likely, if you drain someone of all their blood and put all of it in you, you're probably gonna die. You're gonna overload
Yeah.
your entire system.
Especially if you're not getting rid of any of your blood already.
Right. And by the way, everyone, there's the extent of my medical knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. And like we said, not even talking about blood types.
Exactly. No medical equipment, just a tube and a syringe. Go up and
Yep.
down with a syringe, and that's all it takes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I've given blood to the Red Cross, and it's only like what, like a liter bag that they'll take.
Right. They're not gonna murder
Uh,
you.
exactly. Trying to think, is there anything else we want to say about this one?
I think I'm spent on this one. Yeah, it was better than like you said, Revenge was or Returns was.
Yep. And maybe we're in the minority on that because I think on IMDb this one has like a 5.8 and that one has like a 6.2. And I may have said this before we started recording or right when we began recording. I can't quite remember. Either way, I might be repeating myself. This does make me want to revisit The Invisible Man Returns and give it another chance. But as it stands right now, I do enjoy this one a lot more. It did what Invisible Man Returns was trying to do, and I liked it better.
Yep. I still think I like the original Invisible Woman and Invisible Agent better. Just because I liked Agent because it was just, like we said, it was just a cool war film. This one was just a more like revenge plot, but it was
Yeah.
I liked it. I just like the other three better.
I think I like this one better than Agent. Like I said, he is a despicable character who does some slimy things, but he's a character you love to hate, and he has some good fun with his Cockney British sidekick.
That's true. So yeah,
But,
fun time. Check it out if you haven't seen it yet.
Exactly. This one gets a recommendation.
There we go. All right, so that wraps up this episode. We will be back in a few weeks with another Mummy movie.
All right, looking forward to it.
All right, guys, this is Chad. Have a good night.
This is Ken. Take it easy, everyone.